Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Hard Nine podcast. Today is July the 23rd, and the Cardinals dropped 2 of 3 to the Colorado Rockies and Coors, including getting shut out today, which does seem like it should never happen. They are now 1-5 since the All-Star break, are currently one game over 500, and are unfortunately once again on July 23rd irrelevant to the rest of the rest of Major League Baseball outside of the who wants the Ryan Helsley sweepstakes.
Yeah, to give you some the shutout for the Colorado Rockies in Coors Field and how rare that is. The last time it happened was July 30th, 2023. So almost exactly 2 years ago. So it's been almost exactly 2 years. And they shut out that game, the Oakland A's, who, if you'll remember, were 50 and 112 that season. So I'm not good company to be in. Um, I we talked a lot this season. I even have a video on here, I think, a podcast episode that said the Cardinals are resilient or something like that. And for a lot of the season, they were. They were for a lot of the season. It was a lot of fun to watch. Like that game in Cleveland sticks out to me when Mikolas got shelled after they had taken the lead, and then they came back and had some big homers, some big moments. Um, the team's given up. Call it what you want. The players have given up. You go into Pittsburgh and you get swept in 3 games and you don't score a single run. You go to Colorado and like this, you lose 2 of 3, don't score a single run on the matinee game. I mean the rubber match. And like I get it. I think it's probably because 2023 vibes. Your pitchers are getting you out of the game so quickly. Andre Palante was brutal.
You had a little,
Did it?
you've
I
gone silent. What are we
still
doing there?
hold on. Can you hear me?
There we go. You're back. It was like you stepped on the cord or something. I don't know what happened
This
there.
might. What was the last thing you heard?
Andre Palante, and then it cut out. It was almost
Okay.
like he was listening in and shut you down for a minute.
Okay. What I was saying was Andre Palante was horrible today, as he's been for most of the year, I think we can
Yeah,
say.
he's
I saw
bad.
a
He's
stat that
bad.
he had more starts with 4 or more earned runs than Miles Mikolas has this year.
Do you
Um,
remember? Do you remember? And I'm not saying that this is wrong because I was part of this, but do you remember how excited the fan base was, honestly, about maybe Palante taking that next step
mhm.
in 2025? I mean, we were part of that. I'm not blaming anyone for that excitement. I think that makes sense. That you see a young pitcher have success. Now it's time to take that next step. He has regressed light years.
Yeah, I don't think he's okay. Regressed. I think he's the same pitcher.
Maybe you're right. He doesn't look
Like,
like it.
no, he's not pitching. He's not getting the same results. But like, he's a guy like Erick Fedde, who we'll talk about in a little bit, obviously. Walks a lot of guys and strikes nobody out. How about this? I'm just gonna put this out there. If you do that, get off my baseball team.
Yeah, seems like that's a pretty good call.
Like, and I think Andre could be like not off my baseball team, out of my rotation. Andre Palante can be a reliever. We've seen it,
Okay, let me
and he
ask
can
you
even be a
this.
starter. He can even be a swingman. Honestly, like no, we've seen this a lot for the Cardinals, where they're like looking in the offseason for swingmen, like Michael Lorenzen and things like that we brought up, and those guys want guaranteed starting roles, so they never come to the Cardinals. Having a guy like Andre Palante, who he can be a long relief guy if you need him to be. He can be a fireman, and he can get a ground ball. He's still good at that. And if you need him to, there's nothing wrong with Andre Palante starting 10 games for you in a season. He can't start 32 of them though next year.
No, you cannot. We agree on that. We agree on that. Let me ask you this. Like you said it, and obviously you're saying it from the 37,000-foot view above, but I don't think it's outrageous to say what you said. What does it say then about a group of younger and veteran hitters who have not been good this year, but many of who are fighting for their major league careers potentially,
Mhm.
or fighting for like a
Right.
future in this league, to have given up on July 23rd when all we heard was how gelled this team was a month ago and how, things were just heading in the right direction. And we hoped the front office was going to be buying. Like, how do you just give up coming out of the All-Star break when, to be fair, coming out of the All-Star break, you were only 3.5 out of a wild card game?
I know how you come out of the All-Star break and your starting pitchers all get blasted in Arizona. Like I
You
don't think
got
they're giving
shut
up like
out
they're I
in
don't think
Coors
they're
Field.
yeah, I don't think they're giving up like they're coming to the stadium not wanting to win. I don't think that's what it is. I think they are just probably so mentally drained from being down by 5 or more runs by the third inning every single night. That's a lot. That's a lot to ask of your guys to do. And I don't think these guys don't care. I'm not saying that. But if anyone has watched as many games as I have, or probably some of you have watched more, I would guess, because I was a little bit um watching them from a distance for like a month. But their at bats are not the same. And that's an approach thing. That's something you're doing, right? If you're in a slump, then maybe you're striking out, but your approach might not change all that much. Like you can see it. Like we've seen Wilson Contreras when he goes through slumps, he'll still get work full counts. He'll still like battle up there, and maybe it ends in a strikeout because he's not seeing the ball well. But right now, all these guys, like it's first pitch out after first pitch out, pop up, taking pitches down the middle, guessing. The only guy who looked good this week in Coors Field, well, two guys. It's Wilson Contreras and Jordan Walker. I thought looked really good. That's it.
It I understand what you're saying. I do. I totally do. But can't conversely, let me make a football analogy. All right. For the last 2 years, we've watched Joe Burrow, right? And I know we're going to Joe Burrow, but I get it. He's still an athlete, a professional athlete. But every week he's watching his defense give up 45 points. But do you know what he does? He goes out and puts out MVP numbers every week, every year. Like he does that. Like at one point, do you not say, I mean, at one point, do you not just give them a pass that, oh, your pitchers suck, and say, okay, you got to be better then. Like you got to find a way to take major league at bats, and you need to be a major league baseball player, not a knob that's in a lineup who just is mad because your pitchers can't get out. Like at some point, I feel like that has to take over as well, and you need to be a professional athlete.
I have a couple of things. One, I was giving an explanation, not an excuse. I don't think it's an excuse.
I'm not blaming you. I'm not
No, I
saying
know,
your
but
excuse is wrong. I'm saying it's a fucking problem with the entire team.
yes.
That I think they're all mentally weak right now, and that's a problem.
Okay, well, let's not say that.
Okay,
but
that's true. A lot of them are.
okay, let's not say that either. We don't know what's going on in their heads.
If you can't score a run in Coors Field, Caleb.
First off, your analogy is kind of broken for a lot of reasons. One, if you give up a touchdown, the team has the opportunity to go down and match it immediately. That's not the case in baseball if you give up 5 runs.
I get it, but his team
they don't play 106. Yeah, okay, but Joe Burrow's not playing every single day for 6 months.
I understand all that.
Like it's happening every day. Every day for a week. Joe Burrow gets 1 week where that's frustrating. One day a week, but then he has 6 days to prepare for the next week, and then he does it again. Like I'm sure that's frustrating. These guys are going through it every single day.
I get that, but it's only been 6 games since they had 4 days off, and they look abysmal. They just look bad. So I understand what you're saying. And I know you're not making an excuse for them, but at some point, I'm sorry, nut up. Like it's time to nut up and play Major League Baseball.
You can't score 8 runs every game. You can't.
Yeah, there's other teams out there. I get it. You guys score more than 1?
Well, that's true. Or 0, yes. But I also like the saying is momentum's only as good as your next day starting pitcher. All of the next day starting pitchers have sucked, and I'm saying all of them.
We agree.
Because Sonny Gray's last start, and honestly, like 3 or 4 of his last 5 have not been good. So it's like if you're those guys, like you're going up there, and yeah, you're trying to put together a good at bat, but I don't think it's them going up there saying like, oh, we're not going to oh, I'm so frustrated, I'm not going to do well. I think it's them saying we're down 5 runs. If I don't get something going right now, we're going to lose.
I get all that.
It's
by the way, the comments on YouTube have been really good. Some of them have been a little perplexing. I don't necessarily maybe follow what I think I should be following, or I do believe that people are just making comments that legitimately make no sense to me. So, or to anyone. But that's okay. We do appreciate them. So for those of you on YouTube,
the one about me saying that we're not in win now mode, and then them saying they won today. First off, I don't remember us saying we're not in win now mode.
I don't remember you saying we won today when we lost.
But also like it's baseball. You're gonna win games.
There's things on there that get said that I don't understand, but I do appreciate the comments and I do appreciate the interaction. So please, if you would hit that subscribe button on there. We're getting to where we need to be. We just need to get there a little quicker. You guys can help us out. Thank you, by the way. Keep reading those comments. So let's talk about the number one thing that is on everyone's mind. And I already saw 2 comments on our last podcast from
Ozzy
today.
Osbourne?
Not Ozzy Osbourne. Rest in peace to the Prince of Darkness. Legitimately one of the voices of my entire lifetime. Yesterday sucked. However, I did get in the car to leave work, and The Wizard by Black Sabbath on my shuffle popped on. I didn't seek it out. And it kind of made my entire day when it came on. So that one was tough. That's one. There's very few people out there in the rock and roll world I never got to see live. He's one of them. and I'll take that. Like, I regret that big time. He's in the Tom Petty realm as far as voices of my lifetime. So R.I.P. to
Yeah.
the Prince of Darkness, legend,
Yeah,
legend.
Changes has been on repeat on my phone the last couple of days. So
Yeah, that's good to hear. But anyway, let's talk about Erick Fedde.
yep.
DFA'd after his abysmal start on Tuesday night in Coors Field, which who could have predicted that? Who could have predicted that Erick Fedde in Coors Field
Poetic.
might not turn out pretty well? Your boy, your favorite Cardinal, your newest jersey, Erick Fedde is gone. So I'm sorry about that. Michael McGreevy's going to start on Sunday. At what point is Miles Mikolas potentially next? And TK Roby is in this in this
Okay, you're
rotation.
adding so much. Let's
I
stay on
am.
Erick
There's a
Fedde
lot
for
of
one
layers here.
second. Let's stay
Okay,
on Erick
so
Fedde for
let's
one
talk.
second.
Let's just stick to Fedde. So Erick Fedde's gone.
The first thing I want to say is we get caught up in the results as we should. It's a results oriented business. This is supposed to be the most competitive league in the world, where if you don't perform, you don't have a job, which for some reason in St. Louis doesn't always apply. But the Erick Fedde, the person, I really feel for the guy. Like, this
Same.
sucks. It absolutely sucks for him to be. He was a pretty heralded prospect, like not like a top 5, top 10 prospect in baseball, but when he was in Washington, like he was a guy that was on people's radars. And then he came up, really struggled, went to Korea, found something. I don't know what it was. I think it was his cutter they talked about, and had a lot of success last year. He was legitimately good last year by every number you can look at. No, he didn't strike out a bunch of people, but he also wasn't walking everyone like he did this year. And then to come back this year and to just be like, I would be surprised if he gets a free agent contract next year, unless it's a minor league deal, or it's, he goes somewhere after he got DFA'd and figures something out with a new pitching coach. Unless that happens, like, it's been that bad to where I don't think anyone employs him next year. I mean, that sucks, and I feel for the guy. But the angle I want to take at this isn't necessarily Erick Fedde, because we've trashed on how bad he's been long enough. I was even doing it when he had a 3.2 ERA. Um, I think it is absolutely insane that I came on here and you agreed with me. I think you said the same thing. And I told you exactly what was going to happen. That he was going to continue to be bad and no one was going to want to trade for him. And all you're going to do is lose more games because of it. And what they did was they lost 2 more games and DFA'd him. So you cost your team 2 games and got nothing still, like everyone knew was going to happen. And yet the people running this organization thought that was a good idea. Some dumbass, just out of college person who's working in a kitchen at Wells Fargo came on here and knew more about what was going to happen than the people that are getting paid millions of dollars to do this.
Quit peacocking about your job, okay? Quit
It's not
peacocking
me. It's
about your
everybody.
job.
Fine. Sorry. Everyone on Twitter knew. Like, how did he not know?
Right. 2 things. Nothing says quality podcasting like one of the guys having their closet open with their clothes hanging out of it in the back. So that is high society.
Those are
right
my
there. You guys
jerseys.
are welcome.
Look, there's a Dylan Holloway one right
You
there.
you guys are welcome for that. That is top notch. You're getting the best of the best right now. But two, back to Fedde. Give our the people listening or watching the stat that you sent me, if you have it right there. If not, I can pull it up, about the Cardinals record in games with Fedde pitching versus the Cardinals record in games with them not. If not, I can pull that up if you don't have that readily available there, because that does say it does say a lot. Not just about him.
I have it.
I'm in the mode, like, these guys are humans. I would never go on social media and take shots directly and tag him. That's BS.
No,
we
don't
talked
do that.
about that on here.
Don't do
Would
that.
never do that. But
give your opinions, but be civil, please.
Bingo.
All right. This is from Brandon Kiley, so credit to him. He put this out there. He said the Cardinals record when Erick Fedde starts this season is 5-15. The Cardinals record this season when literally anyone else starts, is what he said, was 47-35. They lost today, so 47-36 now. But that is a 573 win percentage. It's roughly the same at winning percentage as the Philadelphia Phillies, who seem to be a shoo-in for the playoffs. I think obviously one that's like as single-handedly destroying a team's chances of making the playoffs as I've maybe ever seen. I think it's a little strange to me that that's the case, just because how mediocre to bad Palante and Mikolas have both been. Like, they've both been not as bad, but pretty bad. But that just shows you, like, he was not even giving you a chance. And there are times where Mikolas would go out there and he gives up 5, but maybe he goes 6, and maybe your team scores 6 runs, right, and you win the game. Like that's at least it's not a good start, and maybe some days that lose you a game, but it gives you somewhat of a chance to at least stay in the game. If you're going 2, 3 innings and you're giving up 7 runs, like the game's over. It's over. You
Pretty hard to
lost.
believe. Also, to be fair, just to correct ourselves, you did say they got swept by Pittsburgh coming out of the break. They got swept by Arizona.
No, not out
Just
of the break. I was saying
oh,
that
my
that was
apologies
back to
then.
where their offense started to
I
just
see
stop
what you're saying.
scoring.
I see what
Because
you're
that
saying.
series, they didn't score a single run in Pittsburgh. Like that just can't happen in baseball. Period.
Yeah, so I was just doing some research here. 13, 17 runs since the All-Star break this team has scored in what you could
6
consider
games.
as two of the probably best hitters ballparks, right? Arizona and Colorado. I mean, I don't know if the metrics are that
It might
bear
be
that
the
out for
two
Arizona,
best
but
ball.
it's
It
got to
might
be
be the
true.
like those two and Fenway would probably be the top 3, I would guess.
Cincinnati, maybe, right? Like
Yeah, right. Those
they have
4.
to be on that
Yeah,
list, I would say. Now
Colorado's number 1 for
this
sure.
year, people are going to come on and say, "Well, the Athletics and the Rays get it; they're playing in minor league." I
And
get that,
and
but to be
before
fair,
you continue,
they scored 17 runs. They scored 10 of them in 2 games, and they only won one of those.
yeah,
That
yeah.
can't happen.
And to add to your point, not just the stadiums, those are also 2 of the worst pitching staffs in baseball that they were facing.
Correct. Well, the Rockies probably the worst.
Yeah,
I mean,
and the Diamondbacks have like done nothing but give up
right.
runs this year. And you didn't
Okay,
face
so
Gallen or
let's
Burns,
talk.
obviously.
Let's talk. Fedde's gone. McGreevy's in the rotation. I think that makes a lot of people happy. I think what pisses a lot of people off, conversely, is that they've been calling for this for 2 months. Like, and again, it just goes to show the ineptness of this organization to keep running him out there because you can't tell me that Mo and crew didn't have those numbers that Brandon Kiley had. You can't tell me that for the last 4 starts they didn't know that. For the last 6 starts they didn't know that. And if they didn't know that, then they should not be running a Major League Baseball team. So that goes
Yeah.
back to, we're choosing our terrible contract, or not even what it is. We're choosing the guy we traded Tommy Edman for. Have fill in the blank, right? Over the team and over success, even though we're telling everyone that we're not retooling, we are going for it, but we're not going for it because we're choosing 2 starters who suck, and the stats bear that out. So Fedde's gone, McGreevy in. How long? Let's go to the second question I had earlier. How long until you think Miles Mikolas is on that fast train out of St. Louis as well? Or do you believe that they're just going to let him ride his time the rest of the year and suck it up because of the contract?
We just saw how long it took Mozeliak to admit he made a mistake. And that mistake to me wasn't trading for Erick Fedde when he did. That made sense to most people. And it
Right.
honestly kind of worked out. Fedde wasn't horrible for you last year, and Tommy
No.
Edman was great in LA, but he obviously wasn't gonna accomplish those things in St. Louis because they weren't making the playoffs. Um, but the mistake was not trading Erick Fedde in the offseason.
Correct.
And to me, like you said that they've been calling for this for 2 months. It's been 7, 8 months, 9 months, however
I
long it's
agree.
been.
I was just saying
You know what I
once we
mean?
got past knowing that it
Yeah, but I
wasn't
think
going to
it's even
happen.
worse than that. Like people
Yeah.
saw this. I mean, I didn't think it was gonna be this bad. No, I don't think anyone did. But I wouldn't have been surprised. You would have told me would have had a 4 or 5, and
Right.
Michael McGreevy might have a 4, and he's cheaper, and you're not gonna trade him for prospects. Like I just I don't understand it. And so if you're telling me anyway, what my roundabout point, it took Mo that long to admit that he made a mistake. So I don't know how long it was going to take for him to admit he made 2.
I mean, how do you not like what do you think? I really do wonder. Like, how do you walk into a clubhouse? Like, and I don't know how often he is in
He
that
doesn't.
clubhouse.
He
Right. There
doesn't.
you go.
I
Okay.
mean, he
So
might.
there's your
I shouldn't
answer.
say that. I don't know that for a fact.
There's your answer. Do you
That
think
I
in
made
that
that up.
clubhouse right now there's a poster where they're ripping off like the bow tie to start, and then with each win, so they can get to the
Well, they haven't
playoffs?
gotten very far.
Bow tie's the only thing
They haven't
coming
even gotten to
since
his
the
undershirt
All-Star.
yet.
Oh, let me ask you this. I know that last podcast you talked about potentially the Cardinals looking in the offseason for a couple flyer starting pitchers, right? I know you
Mhm.
talked about that. I understand that, but where would you stand on the idea of next year? Let's say you clear Nolan's contract, or just even if you have to eat it, right? Let's just say he's not on the team. Let's say
Okay.
you're able to trade like Helsley, he's gone. That money's going to be off the books no matter what. I get that. Let's say that maybe you trade Wilson Contreras in the next 2 weeks and he's gone. Hate that. We've already talked about
It's
that
not going to
though.
happen.
Right. Well, okay. Where would you stand on the idea of going into next season with Sonny and the 4 young guys? Libby, McGreevy, Roby, and Quinn Matthews potentially, right? And then you've got Tink Hence on the way. Instead of spending
Sure.
that money on pitching, because I don't know what's out there and I don't know who's even going to be interested in coming to St. Louis. I mean,
Well,
would
that's
you
the
look to
problem.
maybe retool your offense first and let those young guys develop at the big league level? I mean, kind of look at what Cincinnati's done, right? I mean, that's kind of what they've done. I think you're
I
seeing that
mean,
in Oakland. We've seen it for years in Tampa. And I know that Oakland went out and got JP Sears and they got Severino. I understand that, but in the past, they've been very open to like allowing their young guys to get there quickly. I
and
mean,
JP
they're
Sears was
doing it
young when
right
they
now
got
with their
him.
hitters. They're doing it right now with their hitters. Where would you stand on that idea? Because I think if we're going to be really honest, as Cardinal fans, we talked about this last podcast. If I'm going to be really honest, I don't view that there's enough moves to be made for this team to be competitive at a massively high level in 2026. So for me as a fan, realistically, I'm looking at the 27 season. Hopefully, gets a lot of contracts off the books, but maybe where do you stand on Sonny and the young guys next year?
No, I don't. I don't think it's a good idea. Not because I think they need to try to win, which I think they should try to win every year. I've said that so many times, but not because I don't think that. That's not at least my not my main reason. I think it puts a lot of pressure on those guys, not just to perform, but to be healthy, to be able to like we've seen Matthew Liberatore. They're already managing his innings. Like Roby's never gone over 100, even we're close to 150 innings. Quinn Matthews doesn't know how to throw a strike right now for some reason. I don't know what's going on with him. Um, the other guys, like, if you go down that route and you have all four of those guys up, who's coming up when one's hurt?
I understand that, and that's why I asked. Like, well, there's always guys to sign. We see Rich Hill threw
Which,
gave up
yeah,
one run last night, right? 40
yeah, but
years,
I
like he's
think
40 years old. Like, I'm not saying that that's what you should do, and I'm not even saying that's the number one business model. I'm simply saying, at what point do you just say, let's just? I mean, how long can you leave TK Roby at AAA, or how long? Like,
I don't
I
know.
I
Oh,
don't know those
while he
answers. That's
builds
why I'm
up,
asking.
like, you know what I mean? Like, here's what I think would be better for this team, is you get like that to me, that type of season where you're going into it saying Heim Bloom needs to see even more, for God's sake, what he has, even though we've been doing this for 3 years, and And that's more reason for me to go sign flyers. If they're bad, no love lost. You can just cut them. If they're good, then that's trade deadline value.
Right, right, and we've
And you're
said
putting less
that
pressure on young
for
guys.
years.
Yeah,
Yes.
like that's like if you go sign whoever's I keep bringing these guys up, but like the Luis Severino and Shamanaya that the Mets signed last year. If you go get those two guys and you hit on both of them, and maybe your team's good, and then good, great, you got two guys that have really helped you and you've gotten a lot of value out of them, or maybe they're good and you're bad, and then you have prospects that are coming in.
I think the snarky comment to that would be, well, we just saw how long it took Mo to get rid of Erick Fedde, and Miles Mikolas is still in this rotation. So
Heim
while
Bloom's
while
not
we've
John
got hold on,
Mozeliak.
while we've got two minor leaguers down there who are probably ready to be in the rotation. So like, but again, with Mo gone, maybe Heim Bloom is a different. Also, by the way, did we start dogging on Heim Bloom not being able to make trades? Because I didn't understand that comment. I mean, I know we dogged on the Mookie Betts trade, but I thought we clarified that. And I feel like we also gave him mad props for the Tyler Glasnow trade. I don't understand why we got dogged on that.
I don't know. I don't think I explained it fully. When Heim Bloom was in Boston, there were reports that he couldn't get deals done because he would get tentative and trade deadlines. Like there was a season where he was supposed to get under the luxury tax threshold because they weren't going to make the playoffs, and obviously the luxury tax threshold gets worse every year you go over it consecutively. And he traded Christian Vasquez, great trade by the way. He got Wilyer Abreu, but then he didn't trade JD Martinez because he didn't find a prospect he wanted, and they were still over the luxury tax, and they won like 80 games. And then also, I was said something about his free agent contracts. He signed Trevor Story and Masataka Yoshida. Both of those contracts are horrible. Like there are definitely
Story's
question
been
marks
good
for
this
Heim
year.
Bloom. No, he hasn't. He's been awful. He was like one of the worst players in baseball for 3 months.
I think he's been pretty good lately, bro.
He
I think
had
if
like
you
a
look up
really
his
good couple
numbers,
week stretch. I mean, what's really good for his contract?
I
Like
don't think he's been one of the worst players in baseball. I
he
don't think
was. No,
that's
he
true.
like legitimately was for 3 months. Yes, I can give you his.
Please
I can
do.
look by month.
I will
Okay.
gladly listen to this.
First of all, he's gotten much better, so he's having a decent year. But by the way, that contract's still awful. Like he's
Not
not that
arguing
good.
that. Not arguing that.
Um, how do I? Why is Baseball Reference at? Why does it have so many pop-ups where I can't
It
even
really
get to
does.
anything?
Yeah, they're getting a lot of money, I guess.
Show.
It's all right.
No, I'm
Well,
fine
Caleb
with
tries
this,
to
but you can
figure out the
keep
internet.
going.
But either way, I don't think that we were totally like bashing on Heim Bloom's ability. I think
No,
we're actually kind of excited for Heim Bloom to be here. So
I'm excited for a change regardless, and I think Heim Bloom's very smart. But that doesn't. I just don't understand why anyone would think that he's just gonna be like the best there ever was,
I
because
agree because you're
he
still
did
dealing
get
with the
fired
same
from his last job.
ownership.
Okay, so Trevor Story. Okay, so I was wrong. It
Thank.
was
Oh,
1 month where he was
can
awful.
we cut that?
But
Can we
hold on.
clip that and put it
Hold on.
on
But he
on
was so
Twitter?
bad for
Because I
that
want to
one
see it.
month. No, he was so bad for that 1 month that he was one of the worst baseball players in the league for the first 2 months of the year. He had a 704 OPS in April, so March, decent. In May, he had a 432
That's
OPS.
bad.
Like, so through the first 2 months, he was legitimately awful. Now, since June and July, he's really turned it around. So,
Okay,
but that doesn't change the fact that that contract's been awful
we
because he's
agree.
injured
We
every
agree
year.
on that. All right. All right. What do you do now? And we talked a little bit last time, but what do you do now with the hitters? Like what are you looking to see them
I don't know.
do? Yeah,
I
that's
don't
the
know.
problem.
It's that's the biggest concern for me. Like the rotation's been bad, but like one predictably, like we that doesn't surprise anyone. Like I didn't think it was gonna be this bad, but I also, if you told me it would have been bad, I wouldn't have been shocked. Um, but like for the position players, you need them to start being good because the way that this organization's set up right now is your position players of the future, for the most part, outside of like a JJ Weatherholt, Chase Davis, if he ever gets it together, like they're here, right? Donovan's here, Gorman's here, Walker's here, Nootbaar, whoever you want to put in that mix, Herrera, Wynn, Victor Scott, they're already here. So in order for this to end up working, they have to figure it out, before they're all gone, which is coming up sooner than you think, because Gorman and Donovan have been here since Albert Pujols was here, right? Um,
Right.
and the pitchers are all going to have to be better early, right? Because if you want that to mesh with all your young hitters that you have and your young pitchers, the pitchers are going to have to be ready earlier than we should expect them to be, and the hitters are going to have to be ready before they're gone. So it's going to be a really tight window and a tight squeeze. That's why they need to start making decisions on these guys. Like if Heim Bloom doesn't think Nolan Gorman is a part of their future, he needs to be gone. If Lars Nootbaar's not a part of your future, he needs to be gone. Like if Alec Burleson's not a part of your future, even though I think he should be, he needs to be gone. Like you need to make decisions on those guys this offseason.
Agreed. Or trade deadline.
Yeah, but you don't have to do that. Like you can
No, you
wait
don't
and
have
see.
to. I
Like
agree.
because if Jordan Walker has a fantastic final 2 months, I'd like to see more of that. Like he looked really
Right.
good. He's hitting a lot of balls. I think I saw today Kareem posted he had like 8 balls hit over 100 miles per hour in this series. It's
Yeah.
a good sign.
Right. Right. Yep. All right. Well, the good news is you come home and play San Diego for 4. The Brewers
Well, if they
continue
sweep
with
him,
the Brewers continue with their voodoo magic that we can never ever explain. No, one day they're going to make a documentary about it. I think it's Bob Uecker magic. That's what I think it is. I think they're getting the Uke magic right now going. It just shows you that when you get one, I mean, it really feels like when Mizorowski came up, it just gave them an absolute jolt. It would be so nice for the Cardinals for just once in my lifetime to have one of those young guys come up that's not named Albert Pujols that gives you the jolt that is like the media darling that is being talked about around Major League Baseball. I just need that to happen once, just once.
Jack Flaherty.
Was he as hyped as Mizorowski?
No, no, not as
Right,
hyped, but he was the best pitcher in baseball for a whole half of a
he
season when he
was
was
for
like
a half.
young.
Yeah, I get it, but he also wasn't 21, was he when he came up?
Young, he was Jack out of high school. I don't know how
Yeah,
young though.
yeah. Okay, but
Jack
I
was
still don't.
amazing, but like no, he obviously wasn't to this level.
Right.
I mean they have a guy right now that they just drafted that has that potential.
Yeah, they do.
Now,
They actually got a couple of them.
potential is just potential, but
Yep.
he has it.
Yep.
I don't know
All
what is
right.
going on. What do we do from here? Like I think, and like the Blues a couple years ago were in a spot when they traded Ryan O'Reilly and they traded and broke my heart and traded Tarasenko and all these guys that we all loved. Um, it felt like Doug Armstrong was making a statement, and he came out and said, "We're gonna, we don't know what we're gonna do in the next 2 to 3 years, but we're building towards something." And that finally paid off last year when they made the playoffs, and it feels like coming into this year they could be one of the better teams in hockey because they're gonna build off of that. For the Cardinals, it feels like they haven't committed to a direction, and even when they said they were going to, they didn't. And so it feels like they've wasted 2 years Because I don't blame them for
Oh,
2023
easily.
offseason because I
Yeah.
think that season, like you added Wilson Contreras, no one thought they were going to be as bad as they were. It just went poorly. But you've wasted 2 full seasons where I think everyone objectively thought, why don't you just, commit to something?
Well,
Do
this will be 3
something.
seasons.
23, no, 24, 25. Because I don't, 2023, I don't think they needed to tear it down or anything. They
Okay.
were coming
Yeah.
off a really good season and they brought in Wilson Contreras. Like that made sense to me.
And
But
Sonny Gray.
no, that was
Oh, that
2023.
was last year. That was last year. You're right. Yep, you're right. Yeah, I
I
don't know
just
the
don't
answer,
I don't know
Caleb.
where they go.
And unfortunately, the problem is there's nobody besides Weatherholt that's really. I mean, you got your catchers, Crooks and Bernal. I'll give them
Mhm.
obviously props, but outside of that, you don't have people that are tearing up AAA and AA right now. You just don't.
No, and
They've
the truth
missed
of the
on
matter
so
is,
many of these guys, and their
yeah, I mean,
trades have
all of
been
them
bad.
almost.
Like they've just been bad. They're a bad organization. That's all I can say. And I
They don't
started it
trade
off.
enough.
I started it off the podcast by saying once again the St. Louis Cardinals are completely irrelevant at the end of July outside of who's Ryan Helsley going to get traded to. That's it. But once Ryan Helsley gets traded, no, you're not going to hear peep outside of watching Bally Sports Midwest or whatever it is called now, FanDuel Sports Midwest, about the St. Louis Cardinals until who knows when.
Yeah, unless Heim Bloom pulls off a big
That's
move,
a,
like
I mean, I think that's unacceptable. If you're a Cardinals fan, if you're a Cardinals owner, if you're in the Cardinals front office, I think that is completely unacceptable for the St. Louis Cardinals to be irrelevant for the 3rd year in a row come July.
yeah, I just don't. I don't know what they do. Like, I don't know if Mo could have left Heim Bloom in a more precarious situation.
He has fucked this up so badly, dude.
Like, what's
Like,
Heim
I
Bloom
mean,
supposed to do?
I I mean, I did see the one guy said, I didn't understand the first part, but the second part was like he just needs to come in and wipe everybody out. That's what I talked about last time. Like maybe that is the thing. Like maybe you
Yeah,
do have to just like literally get to where the team's winning 50 or 60. I don't know. I don't know, but maybe it
but what's
is.
that going to
And none
do
of the
for
like
you
it is
though?
valid and it is possible and
I'm not
plausible
on that side though.
that I understand you're not, and I'm not saying I am either. I'm simply saying that it is plausible that all these guys are never going to be good. I hope not. I mean, great. Let's say great. Let's say a couple, whatever adjective you want to use there. That is
Mhm.
plausible because we've seen it here for the last 10 years with guys that we were told were going to be great, and they gave them a little bit of time, and then they were out the door. So who knows?
M- My
I'm in the
question would be,
I'm in
I
the shadow
guess.
realm again.
My question would be, I guess, Herrera, Burleson, Wynn, Gorman, Donovan, obviously. Are those guys, Jordan Walker, if he can figure it out to some extent just to be decent, are those guys enough to where if you bring in a star and then JJ Weatherhold ends up being good for the team to be good? I don't know, but
No.
what's the answer?
By the way, last podcast 3 days ago, you were ready to get Jordan Walker out of town.
I didn't say I was right. I said he needs to do it or he needs to go. I said
That's
he hasn't earned anything, and he hasn't.
I agree. So I don't think bringing one guy in does anything for this team. I just don't. I think you are. I mean, if just go around and look at the good teams, and then look where the Cardinals have at those positions. It's bad.
Yeah.
It's bad. And I think the regression of Newbar. I think the Mason Wynn hasn't taken the step forward. He's been fine.
And he's hurt, by the way. He's hurt, apparently.
Yeah, right. So that's a whole nother question.
He said his knee was jacked up. Also, another question. Why does every Cardinal player have back problems?
I don't know.
What I mean, is this a systemic thing now? Because it's every single one of them.
Maybe
It's
it's not
Mason Wynn,
good.
it's Nolan Gorman, it's Nolan Arenado. I mean, also, the biggest problem, the Cardinals are starting two glove first guys at least every game.
Yep.
Why is Pedro Paz playing?
We don't. That's a great question.
Why? Like,
Yeah.
if your reasoning is pitch calling, your pitchers are getting blown the fuck up. What
I'll
is
be
he doing
honest,
for
Caleb, and
you?
I said it last time, and I know that you talked about it too. And I don't know where Heim Bloom sits, but I just think you've got to overhaul everything if you're Heim Bloom. I think that that's where it is. And I'm not saying trade everyone. I'm saying that it starts with every
Ollie?
coach, everybody. And I'm not
I mean, it
even.
has to start with Ollie if that's what you're
It
talking
has
about.
to, and then it has to start with his staff. Like I don't know, Skip Schumacher's the guy that you go after. I don't know that Kevin Cash,
I
if you can lure
think.
him out of Tampa Bay. I don't know. I don't know the answer.
Why would he
Right?
do that?
I understand that. I'm simply saying I don't know. It's not to go get Joe Madden, who people keep saying. The next person says
Heimblum
Joe
would never
Madden.
do that.
Can we just end it right there, please? But I don't know that answer. But we talked last time. I'm not going to go over it again. I don't think this is on Ollie, but I do think maybe you need something fresh in there. I just think maybe that's where it starts, and that might not work at all. But
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely not, at least in my opinion, it's definitely not on Ollie to basically any extent to me. Like, there's almost,
agreed.
I've always said I think the value of managers is highly overrated, even when, like, Bruce
Yes,
Bochy's one guy where you can point to everywhere he goes, they win. But even then, the Rangers have been bad the last 2 years. So it's not,
right.
like, even the years when the Giants won 3 World Series in 5 years, they missed the playoffs in 2 of those 5 years. Like,
Yep.
it's, managers have very little to do with success. Players kind of have to go out there and just be better than they're playing. But you can say that I don't think he is the problem, but he definitely hasn't been the solution.
Right. I think that's a good way to put it. I think that's a really good way to put it.
Like we know that
Yep.
for a fact that he's not the
Yep.
solution right now, and that sucks
Well,
because I
we've
think
got,
I think he is good at his job. I do,
what do
but
we have? A week till the trade deadline, 8 days. Is it the 31st?
yeah, it's July 31st.
Yeah. So 8 days. Hopefully there's a lot that happens. I mean, I think there's a lot of
There's not
teams
gonna
that
be.
there's a lot of teams that are buying. I don't know. I don't know.
Before we go, the guys that absolutely have to be gone. You said this last time: Ryan Helsley, Steven Matz, Jojo Romero, Phil Maton. All four have to be gone.
Absolutely. I mean, I got it. My list is longer than that, but
Do you know
I
Jojo
don't
Romero
think,
has like a .5 ERA
yeah.
since like the end of May?
Yeah. I mean, relievers are going to be big at the trade deadline. Bats are going to be big at the trade
Trade
deadline.
them
I
all,
I
dude.
think
Trade your
Lars
entire
Nootbaar needs
bullpen.
I think Lars Nootbaar has to be gone. I think Nolan
He's
Arenado, we
hurt,
talked
so who's
about the
gonna trade for
contract.
him?
Yeah, I don't
I mean, that's what I'm
it's
saying. Like, you don't want to trade him at low value just to do it.
when is he back?
I don't know, but is it, I mean, we only have, like you said, 7, 8 days. So if
He
he's still in
is
the IL, like, what are we
so
gonna get from Erick
unreliable,
Fedde
dude.
2.0?
Yeah, I know.
Like, I don't want that.
Yeah. Yep.
It sucks because, like, it's not Lars Newbar's fault that he's getting injured. I don't think
It
it's,
but it happens every
but
year. Like at this point
I
he's
mean, it
injury
sucks,
prone.
all right. I'm sure
Yeah.
he's frustrated.
I'm sure
Like,
he is
I'm
too.
sure he doesn't want that.
Absolutely, I'm sure he is. I'm not blaming him, but at this point, that's who he is. He's not
Yeah,
going
you
to
have
play
to
a full
accept
year.
it.
So
No, you
that's
have
who
to
he
accept
is.
it.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
So
why the Cardinals' injuries are just like for the position players specifically, because Ivan Herrera is going through it this year. Like Tyler Neal went through it for every year. Lars Nootbaar, like it's all of these. Mason Wynn, like I don't get
yep.
it. Do they
Nope.
do conditioning in the minor leagues?
I don't know. I don't know, but it's pretty frustrating. That's for sure. Frustrating time to be a Cardinal fan. Anything else you want to add about this?
Not about the Cardinals, but I do have a stat that I wanted to share, and I hope this is accurate.
Uh-oh.
Okay, okay, it is. The stat from about Jacob DeGrom that I think proves that he might be the most talented starting pitcher that we've ever seen in the world ever. Genuinely. I sent this to you earlier. Jacob DeGrom has started 238 career games, and 126 of those games, so over half, he's given up 1 run or less.
It's
How is
unbelievable.
that possible? How is that
Unbelievable.
even possible? Eric Fedde can't even. Eric
Unbelievable.
Fedde doesn't even have that many innings without allowing a run. I don't think. Just
Pretty
that's
much
crazy.
unbelievable. All right. Well, before I vanish here because my light,
What's
the
going
sun is going,
on?
I don't know. Well, it's 116 degrees here, dude. It's 116 degrees. So the sun's going down and it's still so doggone hot. So I'm like vanishing into the realm. So I'm figuring this out. I thought I had it figured out. I don't. But we'll get there. We'll get there. I promise.
How
Well,
many
if
trades
something
did the
goes
Cardinals
down,
make?
we'll be back. I got
Over
to get out
under
of here. I'm going to
three.
disappear, bro. It's like I'm like the brother in Back to the Future in the picture right now.
Spoiler alert. Over
If
under
you
3.5.
do what?
Over under 3.5 trades made by the Cardinals at the deadline.
Under.
So you don't think they trade Maton, Matz, and Helsley?
I don't know. That's three.
Yeah, it might be under. Jeez,
All right,
that's
let's get
crazy.
out of here. If something happens, we will be back. If not, we'll be back to discuss the Cardinals getting swept by the Padres this weekend. Oh, by the way, one last thing I do want to say. Why are you what you just send it to me because otherwise I would not know. Why does everyone on Twitter hate you now? Why are you starting beefs with 15-year-olds who are DMing you?
Because I think for some reason people think that being negative means you're just like I don't know how you can be positive about this baseball team. So if you don't want negativity, then go watch a podcast about the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Well, hold on.
Hey,
Have you
actually, that's a bad
seen
example. That's
no,
a
have
bad
you seen that?
example.
Watch
Fine, the Milwaukee
Brewers.
Brewers.
There you
Yeah, the
go.
Milwaukee
There you go.
Brewers.
Well, that's
Oh,
what
the
they
Chicago
told you to be a
Cubs.
fan of. And then report back, they said. I don't even know what that means. Did they just learn that phrase? Why are there all these 15? Can we get the 15-year-olds off Twitter? And if you're not 15 and you're doing this, can you get a life? Like, can you get a fucking life?
Yeah, just don't DM people in general.
That's why I'm
It's
not
just
on that
weird.
app.
It's oddly
That's why I'm
personal.
not
I
on
don't
there.
like it. Like, don't.
Yeah.
He didn't like that I called him a freak, which is fine. I thought it was funny.
I love that, by the way. That was fantastic. All right. Well, we got to get out of here because I'm about to I'm about to do, I need him to play Johnny Be Good here in a minute. So that's the one thing that's going to get me through the night. But we will be back to discuss the Padres sweeping the Cardinals. Dylan Cease might get traded, by the way, which is big news. We will talk about that next time.
Why?
And that's all the reporting. Are you not watching TV? What are you living in that closet door that's open back there?
No, Dad, I don't watch MLB Network trade speculation.
Well, actually, we have it on ESPN at the golf course all day, so they
That's
run the
even
same.
worse. That is
It
so
is,
much worse.
it is, but it's Tim Kirkchin and Jeff Passan. So those are the people reporting on this. I trust Passan, to be honest with you. So
I love Passan, but his job is to get people
that the
interested in the trade deadline.
I get it. But that the Padres are actively shopping him if they think they can flip him and then add another starting pitcher. That would be interesting. So we will
Makes
see
no sense,
if
by the
something
way.
happens with the Cardinals in the trade deadline. We will be back. Chances are it's not gonna. So we'll see you Sunday night. Talk to you soon. Go Cards.